Anna, Anna, Anna. I never signed the contract, never shook the hand. Never swore allegiance to this flag or this land. My parents made a choice and handed me the bill. Told me I was free while they were bending me to will. You can't alienate what isn't yours to give. You don't own your children, you don't own how they live. The moment that you handed me the Caesar and the state, you forfeited the right to call what you did love, that's hate. I never said yes, never gave you this. You built your throne on violence and called it law. I never said yes, take a look at this. A system built on force was never mine at all. The only thing that backs your authority is guns. Strip away the ballot box and show me what it runs on. Majority will is just a mob with better branding. 51% don't make my rights up for expanding. My liberty was never on the table for a vote. You don't put my personhood to poll, you don't get that no. Democracy was built to shield the man from what you're doing, not to hand a crowd a lever and let them start pursuing. I never said yes, never gave you this. You built your throne on violence and called it law. I never said yes, take a look at this. The system built on force was never mine at all. You say reform it, I say show me how. Every lever that I pull is still your lever now. The system isn't broken, it is working as designed. Extraction needs a body and it always needed mine. The individual is not a cell inside your beast. The state exists to serve me, not the other way to cease. If you cannot protect my interests, you protect nothing real. The collective is a fiction and the fiction has a heel. It cannot be reformed because the right is in the root. The Constitution, common law, it all puts on the boot. Different parties, different faces, same machinery of force. Same demand that I keep living on their terms and their cause. Dismantle it, not patch it, not elected better men. Not vote harder, not petition, tear it down and start again. Now with flags and now with anthems, with the truth said plain and loud. No one owns me, no one bore me into someone else's crowd. I never said yes, I never will, I never will. You can call it civilization, and I call it what it is, a change. Trust up in somebody else's will. Ooh. Anna, Anna, Anna.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how the public does not support self-ownership and how democracy is theft. Now, we're told that we have democracy. Democracy is the foundation of freedom and civilization. We're taught in schools that democracy is the cornerstone of liberty and that this is the will of the people. We support it, we vote for it. You have a say. You consent to it by your participation. But I'm going to declare today that democracy is not a system of freedom. It is theft. And like all thefts, it operates through deception. Now, Proudhon declared that property is theft. This was a critique of capitalism because what Proudhon was explaining is that property rights are inherent in nature, but the state has a monopoly on property rights. So it basically gives people the ability to live without working, to extract labor just because they own capital, because they own legal title. It is a theft of your natural rights to acquire property. So I'm arguing that democracy itself is theft. And the difference is that Proudhon was challenging the theft of the commons. I am challenging the theft of the self. The theft of actual human beings, their rights, their liberty. Because Proudhon was talking specifically about the estate. Now, that definition that Proudhon was using was very narrow, But John Locke actually defined property as the person, liberty, and the estate. So these are three separate domains of the self. The public believes that it actually owns the person, that it owns you as an individual, that you're part of the collective. So yes, democracy is theft. It is the theft of the most fundamental property, which is ownership of yourself. So under democracy, you may have a private estate, private property rights, but your personhood is not private at all. It is part of the collective. It is socialism. It is the inversion of socialism where you don't own yourself, which I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how you can have property rights without owning yourself. And so a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of pushback about how I'm an anti-natalist specifically because of civilization. Because again, that's not to say that I would think that procreation would be ethical without civilization. I'm just saying that when you're born under civilization, you don't own your life. You're a slave to society. So yes, it would still be wrong to procreate in a state of nature, but you would not be a slave to the state. At least you would have a fighting chance. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. The first property right is ownership of your person, your body, your life, your labor. The second property right is your estate, what you produce, what you accumulate through your own labor. And then third is your liberty. I don't think there's really a hierarchy. I think these things they all fall under the same category of property. And I know the Supreme Court got it wrong because they created two separate interests, a property interest and a liberty interest. They're really following Rousseau's general will. I know people don't like when I talk about this political theory stuff. They think it's too complicated. It's really not complicated. Basically, they think I'm trying to simplify as much as I can. But if you don't understand it, then you don't know how we got here. So you can't separate self-ownership from property ownership. If the collective owns your person, then they own your labor, which means they own everything you produce. You can't own property without owning yourself. You can't own liberty without owning yourself. Self-ownership is the foundation for all of it. And if you don't own yourself, then everything else is a collective good. That's why these people come up here telling me, oh, you're intelligent. You should be using your intellect to benefit society. Why? Because they think that my intellect is a collective good. They think that it belongs to them. I should be using my intellect to benefit the state and the collective, not to liberate myself, but to benefit their own system, their system which has not benefited me at all. I should be on their side, right? At a certain level, what they're really saying is, this is so fucked up. I'm just going to put it plainly. You're not an intelligent person, right? You should be on our side. You should be on the side of the system. You should be working to enslave everybody. That's why they really resent what I'm doing, because they know that I'm educated. They know that I'm not unintelligent. So they think that they own me. I should be on their side. And what's so upsetting for me is that I'm trying to awake the slaves at the bottom, because I'm putting myself in the same category. I'm a fucking slave. I don't want to. There are people who are willing slaves. I'm an unwilling slave. I'm a slave by force, right? So in theory, I should be on the side with the other slaves, but unfortunately, this most slaves are not even on my side. They're not. They're on the side with the damn system. They're on the side with their own oppressors. So I don't know. There's a very small minority who actually sees what's going on. I'm trying to advocate for them. I'm trying to explain how the system works. And for whatever reason, they are resisting. And it's like, yeah, I see through all the bullshit, but I'm a minority. And these people have a monopoly on force. They have a lot of resources on their side. So I'm trying to expose them. But at the same time, while I'm doing this, people are saying, oh, it's too complicated. I don't understand. So I don't know what I mean. How do I do this without teaching people how the system actually works? Yes, they do think that they own you. They think they own your life. They think that they own your labor and the fruits of your labor. They own your property. They're going to take your taxes. Somebody sent me this video about how this woman had paid off her home, and then the state still took her home and foreclosed it through a foreclosure. They put her home up for a public auction because she was behind on her property taxes. So you can't actually own your property outright. You're renting. No matter how long you have actually paid off your mortgage, you can never own it fee simple absolute. And I know that's probably another legal term that people don't know what that means. Fee simple absolute is the total ownership of property. That's the highest ownership that you can possibly have. There are lesser property rights that you can have, but you don't own property in fee simple absolute. You don't own your life fee simple absolute. They will restrict your use of property with zoning laws. You can't run a business through your house. You must go into debt to take out a loan to get private property. I mean, I don't know, to lease property in a different zone. And then you get a brick and mortar that you can't afford, and then you just go under just because you can't afford to pay the lease. And I've seen some of these leases. These leases are exorbitant. It's just like, I don't even know how you stay afloat running these businesses. Try to start a restaurant. You're paying $30,000 a month. So yes, the public actually believes that they own you. When the public votes, they are not voting for individual liberty. They are voting to affirm their collective ownership of you. And like I said in my book, according to Rousseau, if you use that social contract theory, it is this whole dichotomy of a sovereign citizen. So you are a total slave and a fractional master. We own you, you own us. The problem is that I don't want to own anybody, so I don't get anything out of that. They actually do get something out of it. They enjoy owning people. Now, John Locke's theory about property, the right to your life, liberty, and estate, these are inalienable natural rights. They can't be voted away. They're not subject to a public vote. They can't be sacrificed to the collective. The purpose of entering a social contract is to protect these natural rights. It's not to abrogate them. It's not so that the state has more power, more authority over you than you have over yourself, that the state has superior property rights over the self. No, the state is supposed to protect your natural rights. Because according to Hobbes, without the state, you would be in a war against all. The contract is supposed to be limited. The state is supposed to have limited rights, limited authority to protect your rights, not so that the state has absolute authority, absolute sovereignty. You're a slave. You have to beg permission to even die. You have to beg permission for everything. You have to get a license to earn a livelihood. You have to beg the collective for permission just to exist. So that is John Locke's theory, which I actually agree with, that we do have natural rights which predate the state. Rousseau disagreed. According to Rousseau, we have no natural rights. Our rights come from the general will. Our rights actually come from the state. You surrender your rights once you enter the general will. You don't own your life. Your life is owned by the collective, by the general will. So on paper, if you actually look at the founding documents, it's actually based on John Locke that we have natural rights. But somewhere, I don't know how they switched to Rousseau. I don't know how they got shit so wrong. And I don't know how nobody noticed this. I mean, Rousseau was right. I don't know. I guess that during his time, maybe he was revolutionary. I don't know. He was trying to push back against the French monarchy. And then I think there's some limitations with Rousseau. He got some things right, but the general will bullshit, he got that completely wrong. And so, according to Rousseau, there is no will other than a general will. You have no individual will. And the argument is supposed to be that whatever benefits the collective benefits you. And I'm assuming that Rousseau intended for there to be a limited government. I don't know. I'm trying to, because there's a lot of contradictions in Rousseau's theory. Let me just talk to you all about what self-ownership actually means. Self-ownership means that you own your life, you own your body, you own your labor, your time, and you own your own future. You are not property of the collective. This is a natural right that is pre-political. That means that the state cannot infringe on those natural rights. The state's role is to protect those natural rights. The state can't regulate your reproductive freedom, whether you have the right to die, your use of your private property. You have superior disposal rights if you actually own yourself. That means that you own yourself in fee simple absolute. Whether somebody disagrees with your natural rights is completely irrelevant. Your natural rights cannot be put to a public vote. Other people's opinions are completely irrelevant. What you do with your body, what you do with your property, what you do with your life is not within the public domain. They have no say on it whatsoever. You own your future. You own your ability to earn a livelihood, to maintain your life. And this is why I say democracy is theft, because democracy has stolen all three of these domains. They have stolen the person, the state, and liberty. You have no natural rights. Everything belongs to the collective, including your life. Even Rousseau explicitly says this, by the way, that the sovereign, basically your life is a gift from the state. You don't actually own your life. When you read the social contract, it's so fucked up. And I want you to know that the courts actually follow that. They cite Rousseau more than they cite John Locke. Now, Rousseau, according to Rousseau, the family is the first society. And parents believe that they own their children. And I know this sounds hyperbolic, but it's really not. They literally believe that they own their children. Those are my children. And there was a point in time when children were considered properly, legally. Parents make decisions that have long lasting effects on their children's lives. They think that you are their legacy. They literally think that they own you. And if you don't toe the line, well, they'll prove it. They'll disinherit you because you're supposed to do what I say. Even if you are an adult, they still want to control you. They don't think that it ends at the age of 18. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting all parents in the same category, but I think the majority of parents think that they actually own their children. They think that you are an extension of them, that you are not an autonomous human being who is entitled to your own happiness, that you live for them. You're their legacy. You're supposed to make them look good. You're supposed to carry on the family name. Whether you're happy is completely irrelevant. You have a duty to the family, to the community. It starts with the family, and then it trickles up to the community. What did Aristotle say? The family, the community, and then the policy. Or yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I'm butchering that, but I'm eventually going to get into some material from Aristotle, especially what Aristotle had to say about natural slaves. So, from the family, you're socialized to learn that you don't actually own yourself. Ownership of humans has become normalized. You learn to obey. You learn to not see yourself as being an individual, as being part of the collective. You learn to sacrifice for the greater good, to have low self esteem, to put other people's needs before your own. And the gag is, well, the parents thought that they own their children, but the hierarchy is society owns the parents. And so, well, if society owns the parents, then the deduction is that they own the children too. The implication is parents enslaved you by bringing you to existence under the state. The state owns the parents and the parents' children. The state has superior property rights over personhood. Your personhood comes from the state. Your life is a gift from the state. So when you argue that you should own yourself and that you should have natural inherent rights, society is going to go against that. Why? Because you're challenging their legitimacy. And it really starts with the parents because you're basically challenging parental authority. To say that you actually own your life, I mean, you may think that you're just challenging state authority, but you're also challenging parental authority. That's how they hear it. They hear it as you don't respect. I want you to understand that when you challenge state authority, parents internalize that as challenging their authority also. Because well, it starts with parents, but also they think that you just don't respect authority in general. There is a hierarchy, and they actively support this whole system. And because parents think that they own their children, then they think they think that they own other people's children too. They think it's just a collective where everybody owns each other. Nobody actually owns their own life. We're all just part of the common good. Yes, parents are the original life enslavers. They are the ones who imposed life on you, turned you over to the state, made you a damn slave. They thought they were just creating slaves for themselves, an automaton to serve their needs, to make them happy, to give them a legacy. But I don't think that. I mean, clearly, it's not possible for them to limit that enslavement to just the family unit. It ripples out to society in general. Yes, so they got their slave to serve them, to give them a legacy, but society also got a slave. Yes, they're going to teach you to obey authority. Why? Because they're protecting their own interest in you. They don't want you to go up against the system and then perish, and then then they lose their investment in you. So they're going to teach you to obey the damn state. In fact, for those of you who listen to my live stream on my anarchist channel, this is one of the primary reasons that they abuse their damn children. They're going to beat you into submission so that the system doesn't do it. As if the system is going to beat children with extension cords. This is how they justify it. Oh, if I don't do it, then the system is going to do it. They're doing the system's dirty work. They're trying to socialize you. They're trying to beat you into submission, take away your free will, take away your autonomy, take away your ability to be a free thinker. They're producing slaves. They're destroying your self-esteem. taking away your individual identity. Yes, it starts with the parent-child relationship. That's where the enslavement begins. When you are born, the state does not recognize you as sovereign. You have no natural rights. You are part of the collective. You're born with a social security number. You're basically branded like cattle. You get a credit score to show your worth. I just checked my credit score. Not that I'm flexing or anything. It just went up 16 points. And that's part of the fact. I mean, I don't. Let me stop because I don't want to. I mean, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because my credit was in a toilet just a few years ago, and I have crawled my way out of it to have really, really good credit. I don't know if I should take pride in that or not because it could easily go back down. I don't know. I guess that makes you trustworthy or something. No, this basically means that I have to work, pay my student loans, pay my mortgage, and whatever society thinks that I'm worthy of being exploited. I don't think that it's really a badge of honor, but I don't know. I guess it makes me trustworthy in the eyes of creditors. So why am I bringing this up? Because if you don't own your life, then you don't have a natural right to dispose of your life. If you, I mean, this is what I said in my book, the disposal rights test. Disposal rights is proof of ownership. If you don't have disposal rights, then you don't own it. You don't have disposal rights over your person because you don't actually own your life. And not only should you have disposal rights, but you should have autonomous disposal rights, meaning you should have disposal rights of whatever you own without having to seek permission from anyone, which means an unregulated right to dispose of your property. You don't have disposal rights of your liberty. The state interferes with your liberty all day, every day. You have to beg for permission to do anything. You have to beg just to earn a livelihood, to take a shit. You know, the state regulates toilets now, how much water can be used, and whenever you flush your toilet. Your property is not yours, not really. It's basically a limited right to exclude. You can exclude others, but you can't actually exclude the state. The state can come on your property whenever it wants. Well, not whenever it wants. It does have a procedure. It's supposed to get a warrant. Of course, they violate that. I mean, there's exceptions to the warrant requirement. When they're in hot pursuit, exigent circumstances, they can always justify not using a warrant. And even if they get a warrant, that still is the state giving authority that you did not give. So yes, the public is complicit in their own enslavement. I'm not going to say that I'm complicit because I don't support democracy, but they're complicit because they breed you into the system. They support democracy. They don't, even after they put you in a system, they actively fight against self-ownership. When I say that the right to medical assistance in dying should be decriminalized, they fight against that. They say that it should be legalized and that there should be regulations from the state, meaning that the state should still own you and the state should have the final say. You should have to pay the state to dispose of your own personhood, which means that you don't actually own it. And this is what they support. And the reason that they do this is because they want ownership. When they support collective ownership or ownership by the state, they see themselves as the state. They are part of the master state. So they're not willing to give up their they don't care about being enslaved themselves so long as they get the willpower against other people. They want a say in whether you get the right to have an abortion. They want a say in whether you get to terminate your life. They're not willing to relinquish that power. So they're okay with being enslaved so long as they get to enslave other people. Now, the caveat is they want all this authority over other people to enslave them, to force them to submit to their will. Yet they want to talk about personal responsibility. After they have taken away your boots, they're going to tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. If you come to them for help for anything, they're going to say, "Oh, you're on your own. You figure it out." Or they're going to tell you to get help. Go talk to a professional. No, this is your system. You want to enslave me, so I should be coming to you for help. You want to force me to exist against my will. You want me to submit to the state. This is your fucking state. So why can't I come to you? You want to be my fucking master? Be my master. Pay my motherfucking bills. No, but they don't want that responsibility though. I mean, that's the whole what I call in my book. Basically, I put them again. I put their backs against the wall. That okay, you want to force me to exist against my will? Then pay for it. Pay for my living expenses. Pay for my student loans. Pay for every damn thing. Because I don't own my life. You own my fucking life. So pay my damn bills. I am your living property. Pay my motherfucking bills. They don't want to pay that shit though. So for everyone who supports collective ownership, you need to maintain your living property. Just like you own an animal, right? You're responsible for maintaining your property. Under chattel slavery, slave masters had a duty to maintain their slaves, to provide food, clothing, and shelter. Why do I have to maintain not my life? Why do I have to maintain your life? It's not my life. You own my fucking life, so pay my bills. My life benefits you, yet you expect me to maintain it. How does that shit work? It's not fair. Yes, they think they own your life. They think they own your liberty. They think they own your property. They want to say in all of it. And what makes civilization so especially nefarious is that in a state of nature, yes, you would be left to, I mean, you would have your natural rights, but you would have to protect them yourself. You would be in a war against all. But the difference is that under statism, under democracy, the state has monopoly on physical force. So not only does the state refuse to protect your rights, you're not allowed to protect your rights yourself. You're not allowed to take the law into your own hands. You must trust the system to do it for you. But the system refuses to do it. So now you're just a complete sitting duck. Now you're completely vulnerable. Now you're at the mercy of the public that does not give a fuck about you. Now the state can do whatever the fuck it wants. They have a monopoly on violence. You're supposed to just sit back, let the police, the thugs come and trample all over your rights, throw you in a cage, take your property, enslave you, and you're supposed to just sit there and take it. Or trust the system. You're supposed to fight against your oppression through their avenues. Pay a lawyer, an officer of the court, an agent of the fucking state. Trust the lawyer to fight for you. I don't know. Go talk to the media. Maybe the media will help you. Of course, they don't give a fuck. I mean, I've had protests, big protests, massive protests with thousands of people, and it was not covered by the media. There was a complete media blackout. There was this there was this secret meeting. Somehow they got wind of it, and we had this massive protest. We were trying to expose them, and we thought, oh, if we come out there with this protest, everybody will know about it. No, the media didn't cover it at all. This shit doesn't work. So you can't defend yourself. The state has monopoly on violence. You can't defend your life without becoming a criminal. You can't even terminate your own life without being criminalized, or the person who assists is also a criminal. And I know it's not technically against the law to terminate your life, but there is a backdoor criminalization of it through the health and safety codes, where if you express thoughts about that, they take away your liberty, they put you under psychiatric confinement, and you have to pay for it. So it's basically a fine. It's a fine and confinement. It is the functional equivalent of criminalization, even though they don't call it that. You're worse off than if you were in a state of nature. In a state of nature, you could at least defend yourself. Under democracy, you're not allowed to defend yourself, and the state refuses to defend you. You're a complete sitting duck. They're taking away your ability to defend yourself. And they're not defending you. So I don't know how you, I mean, what kind of life is that? And of course, the public defends this monopoly of physical force. The fact that you were born within a specific jurisdiction is not consent. You didn't consent to this shit. You did not consent to democracy. You didn't consent to state sovereignty. You were born into it. Your parents put you in this bullshit. You're not allowed to opt out. You're not allowed to defend yourself. You're just going to be a sitting duck for the rest of your life. You're just going to live a life of oppression with no way to liberate yourself. They're not going to support you. They're not going to help you liberate yourself. They're going to make it seem like you're the problem, that you should just get professional help. They're going to pathologize you, say that you're crazy. Meanwhile, they're the crazy ones because they support their own enslavement. They can't allow you to own yourself because they know that their authority is not legitimate, and that the only basis for their so-called sovereignty is their threat of physical force. They don't want a system based on consent. Only thing they can do is threaten you with violence, manipulate you, indoctrinate you to accept your own enslavement. And of course, most of the work is done by the citizens themselves because although state violence is omnipresent, it still can't be everywhere at all times. So most of the work is done by the citizens themselves, the slaves. They're going to make sure that you stay in line, that you accept the state as your fucking master. They're going to report you for not enjoying your life, for being miserable. They're going to tell you that you need help. They're going to constantly do these wellness checks where they constantly ask, how are you doing? How are you doing? So do you have to lie and say that you're doing wonderful even though it's not true? And if you actually do tell the truth and say that you're not doing wonderful, then they're going to fucking report you. That's what these wellness checks are for. That's why they keep asking, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Fake it till you make it. Lie and tell them that everything is fine, and maybe you'll start to believe it yourself. They pathologize your descent. They will talk about your duty. Oh, you owe the collective. Pay your fair share. They will talk about how you owe society your talents, your labor, your property. These are public resources. Your intellect is not your property, it belongs to the collective. They will support the prohibition on your right to opt out because they actually believe that they own you. They want to say in it. They don't want you to have an autonomous disposal. They claim that they support free will, but they don't. Anytime you try to exercise free will, the slaves at the bottom will be the first ones to stop you from doing it. So they want you to go through all this gatekeeping for everything. Gatekeeping for your right to earn a livelihood, gatekeeping over your reproductive functions, gatekeeping over your life. Yes. Unfortunately, MAID is the barometer of self ownership because self ownership comes with disposal rights. So the fact that they don't support it or the fact that they want it to come from the state means that they believe that they actually own you. They don't want you to live off the grid. They don't want you to what's the term? Gosh, I just said it the other day. They don't want you to homestead. They don't want you to be self-sufficient, to have your own crops, to, produce your own eggs. No, they want you to live in these large, overcrowded cities where they can keep an eye on you, where they can report you, where they can keep you in line. They don't want you to escape the fucking matrix. They want to keep you trapped in the fucking matrix. And so anytime you try to exercise some type of autonomy over your life, notice their response. Do they actually support it? No. I almost think that it's a waste of time to even tell them what your plans are, because they're going to try to ensure that you remain enslaved with them. They think that their enslavement is a badge of honor. They're proud of being fucking slaves. I'm a good law-abiding citizen. I want you to know that the last time they called me for jury duty, I was the only person who was pissed. I looked around in the room. I was the only one who was visibly upset. They were all fucking proud to be called, to have to lose a day of pay to come down and serve the fucking state without any fucking remuneration. The parking is fucking $10. They pay you $8. You lose $2 to serve the fucking state. And they were all too enthusiastic to do it. These people are natural slaves. There is no other way to look at it. They love being enslaved. They love enslaving their fucking children. Yes, they take it personally, because when you buck up against the state, you're bucking up against them. This is their fucking system. They're the fucking master state. They take it as a personal affront that you don't enthusiastically fulfill your duties as a fucking slave. The reason that they accept collective ownership of themselves, because they don't mind the fact that other people own them, so long as they get to own other people. They like that. They love this system because it gives them power over other people. They take it personal when you say, I don't want to be a slave, when I want autonomous disposal rights. I want to escape the system. It's collective narcissism. They don't want you to go no contact. And basically, going off the grid is basically the functional equivalent of MAID. They don't want you to escape, no matter how you escape. They want you to be trapped. They want their eyes on you. They want control over you. They don't want you to have self-ownership. They can't let go of their power. They don't care about consent. They don't care about your happiness. They know what is best for you better than you know. They know what is in your own good. And in their minds, being enslaved to the state is in your rational self-interest. Because the state, well, they believe in the just world fallacy, that the state serves the common good, the state knows best. The system works. There's something wrong with you. The system never does anything wrong. Without the state, the world would descend into chaos. There would be violence. They don't trust themselves because they are aware of their own violent nature. They are aware that without the state, they would be violent. So they assume that you would be just as violent as them. They don't believe that you actually have self-control, that you can actually be fair, because they're not fair. They are corrupt. They are violent, and they project this onto you. So they'll tell you, oh, if you don't like the system, you can leave. You can just go to another country. Okay, but what if I don't want to go to another country? What if I just want mate? They're not going to support that. They want to control whatever you do. They're going to gaslight. And before I forget, because I was talking about that gaslighting, but it was so much gaslighting, I can't remember everything that was said by that. I don't. Let me. When he said that you don't need human beings to procreate because the state has artificial wombs, and the state may have the capacity to produce human beings without humans doing it. That was a fucking form of gaslighting. That's something that I can't verify. I can't argue against, because I can't prove that the state doesn't have the ability to do that. He was gaslighting me the whole fucking time. So basically, he was trying to absolve parents for putting their children into the system, to say, oh, it's not the parents' fault because you could have existed anyway. The state may have the ability to produce humans without human reproduction. The state may have artificial wombs. Now, when he said that bullshit, he knew it wasn't true, but he knew that I couldn't prove that it wasn't true. So I can't defend it, because I don't. It's just I knew I was being gaslit, and at a certain point I started getting annoyed, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this conversation? What the hell is this bullshit? We know. I mean, I can't prove that the state doesn't have artificial wombs, but what we all know is that none of us came here through artificial wombs. We all came here through human beings. We all had a mother and a fucking father. The state did not fucking produce us. So stop with the fucking gaslighting. So when you're being gaslit, don't even. If I had a do-over, I just would have ended that conversation a lot sooner, because I did recognize what the hell was happening, and it was annoying the fuck out of me. It's so instinctive. These people, I don't even know that they are aware that they're gaslighting. I think it's become so instinctive. They just do it as a reflex. When you're presenting them with truth, they can't handle the fucking truth. So their instinct is to fucking gaslight, to present these counterfactual scenarios that you can't refute, because you don't have access to all the information, but you don't have to refute it. The burden is on them to fucking prove it. Prove to me that the state has artificial wombs. Prove to me that I was brought into existence through a fucking artificial womb. They're going to tell you that the state benefits you, that you benefit from infrastructure. You use roads. You use hospitals. Therefore, you owe the state compliance. You owe the state your life. And so, therefore, you owe allegiance to the state. You should surrender your liberty. I don't know how this shit works. I mean, you didn't give me a choice. You don't get to breed me into enslavement. Don't give me an option. The state has monopolized all property. There is no way to escape the state. So you don't know how I would fare without the state. None of us were given a fucking choice. I think I would have been better off in a state of nature. I mean, you all know that I'm an anarcho-primitivist, but yes, when I see these primitive people who are living in freedom without, yeah, they are technically under the state because all land has been monopolized by the state. But they're unaware of the state. They build their mud huts, they hunt, they forage, they're happy. They're not indoctrinated. They don't have any student loans. The laws may exist, but they're completely unaware of the laws. They do whatever the fuck they want to do. They don't owe anybody shit. They don't believe in collectivism beyond the tribe that they chose to live in. They don't watch television. They don't get indoctrinated by public school. They're not told that they need help and they need to pay thousands of dollars to be lectured by some parasite who is just as indoctrinated as everybody else. They don't suffer any housing crisis because they build their own shelter. Everything that they need, they provide for themselves. Yes, it is theft. It is the theft of your autonomy, the theft of everything. And I know they say that the state of nature is perpetual violence. Even Rousseau disagreed with that. It is not perpetual violence. In a state of nature, there would be a duel for dominance, just like in the animal kingdom. The lions fight to see who's dominant. Then there's a long period of peace until another male challenges his dominance. And then there's a long period of peace. It's not perpetual violence that you get under the state of society. Perpetual war, perpetual state violence. Just divide and conquer bullshit. Well, you can't even trust your neighbors because you don't know whether they are agents of the fucking state. You don't know if they're going to report you for expressing your true thoughts about your own existence. And the reason that they are okay with self-ownership also is because they believe that they're on a winning side. Yes, they know that they're owned, but for whatever reason, this system benefits it benefits them. They have become successful. They may be slaves, but they're well-paid slaves. They're relatively successful. They're happy. They don't care about owning their life. They don't care about freedom. What they care about is materialism. They get to go shopping. They get to have their big flat screen television. They get to watch football, drink their beer. They get to get laid. And so freedom is just somewhere in the backdrop. As Rousseau explained, they're looking, the reason that they are okay with it because they're looking down instead of looking up. They're looking at who they can oppress and control instead of looking at who can control and oppress them. They side more so with their masters. They side with the people in power. It's aspirational. They don't give a shit about that because they hope to one day be the fucking oppressor. They don't have any empathy for the people below them. They empathize with the people above them. This is who they hope to be at some point. Um, I don't even think that the system is oppressing these people necessarily because they supported it. Like, I used to think that it was top down, but it's really from the bottom up. They're natural slaves. It is their own dependency which has resulted in this master state. They don't have a problem with it at all. They actively support it. They're begging to be slaves. They're begging to be controlled. They're begging the state to protect them. They don't want to own their lives. It's not important to them. They don't even understand why it's important to you. It never even crosses their damn mind. They're competing with the other slave. They're trying to outslave themselves. How can I be more of a slave than the next slave? How more sacrificial can I be? Excuse me, y'all. My voice keeps cracking when I drink these energy drinks. You can't save these people. They don't want to be slaves. They don't want to be saved. So when they ask me, why don't you do this? Because I already know. I've been an activist for a very long time. I already know how these people think. You can't fucking save them. The only thing you can do is escape the fucking matrix yourself. These people have to be left behind. They're going to stay on the plantation because they want to be there. Um, I think I'm pretty much done. I guess I'm going to go see if there are any comments. I guess I'll only say that it only goes one way. That you owe duties to the collective owes no duties to you. You should sacrifice, the collective does not owe you shit. One way extraction. Taking without any remuneration. I don't see how, well, I see how other people think they benefit from the state. I don't think that I benefit from it at all. All right. Let me go read some of these comments. Um, yeah, Pastor D, I hope that I can convince you to become an anarchist like I convinced Fatima. So we're working on that. Because if you didn't consent to being born, then you also didn't consent to the state. So it's really the same argument. Hi, Daniela. Yeah, I'm not even going to respond because anytime we bring up his name, this gives him reason to make content. Um, I'm not even going to say anything about him. I think he's okay. Let me stop. I'll just leave it at that. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about? Okay, y'all. Um, I don't know if anybody wants to come up, but I guess I can post a link while I'm reading these comments. The people who need to see this content aren't watching because they have their mind made up, or they're going to unsubscribe because I'm making them uncomfortable. So yeah, um, there are people who accidentally stumble on my channel. High set scales.
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, I think that thumbnail's pretty funny. I think it is. It is
Well,
kind of
that's how I really feel. Like that's how. Yeah. These are things that people had literally told me. Hi, Fatima.
What's up? What's up, everyone? How's it going? LA and Dom, how you guys doing?
So
Yep. All
I
right.
definitely hear that you benefit quite a bit.
Who, me?
No, just from statists saying that we benefit from the state and what we do about it.
Oh yeah, that whole general. I mean, just because it could be true doesn't make the state any less illegitimate and like not oppressive. It still is, you know. It's almost like I've been reading about this one like anarchist thinker, kind of honorary anarchist. His name is Ernest Junger. I think Machine Lies brought him up. He pretty much came up with the concept of the anarch. You know, you exist within like a oppressive system, but like you have like internal freedom. You know, you have like sovereignty. You have like values you have in place, and you do not really give legitimacy to the system, and yet you operate within it. Yeah.
Danielle, I'm not sure where you got that. No, I am not a Freemason. I don't support Freemasons. I don't support secret societies.
Me neither. No. That's like a no-go for me too. I mean, like in theory, it's interesting, but like they usually like end up doing bad things to like us anyway, right? Because like they what do secret societies have? They have like a hierarchy, right? And they usually attract like other governments, and they infiltrate them, and then boom, they have influence over us through like the institutions and Congress, the politics, the parliament, wherever you're in. Yeah, they have a lot of influence now.
Yeah, and if you look at where they're at, there's pretty much a Masonic temple right by every police station there is.
Oh, yeah, there is. Oh my God, there is. Like, if you go to Washington, D.C., there's one giant one dedicated to George Washington. It's one of the tallest towers in the area. It's so massive. It's so expensive. It costs like billions of like dollars to build and maintain. It's a waste of taxpayer money. It is, you know. It's essentially just like a giant Masonic tower just overlooking like all of like the outskirts of DC. It's almost like in all CNI. It's like a Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. It's really, really crazy stuff. Yeah. And the fact that if you look at the map of Washington, DC, it's in the shape of what of a pentagram. You know, if you look at the map of DC from above, like a drone, aerial drone. Yeah, that's what it is. And I think it points to that tower I talked about. I think so because it's going to like the outskirts of DC because DC is inside Maryland.
I mean, if you really want to know what Washington D.C. and that tower's all about, it's all sexual, and it basically symbolizes.
It's a phallic symbol.
Well, I mean, not only that, but just look at what it's between. It's between Virginia and Maryland, the Virgin Mary. So they got this huge phallic symbol right between the Virgin.
Wow, that's actually good. Yeah, like damn, I didn't think of that. Like I knew like you know the obelisk was like a phallic symbol, but like the fact that like the makers like made it show that like hey we're screwing the Virgin Mary. Like wow, that's kind of like damn.
Yeah, it's all messed up symbolism related to physiology and astrology.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's no doubt about that. Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, like, but these are the people that, according to some people who I don't like now, if you read the comments in this panel, that I have to break bread with their supporters and followers. You know, like, yeah, like what the fuck? No, like, they hate me, and I hate them. Like, why would I? Yeah, like, and also the general masses like those people. They like them. They vote for those people. They give them, you know, incentive and consent to rule through like the fake process of like a democracy, right? So how can I be enthusiastic about people around me when they support that shit? You know, like it just gets more and more stupid as day goes by. That like, man, do I have to like put up with like people who like are okay with like the world we live in? I don't think so. That's not fair. It's shitty.
RFK?
RFK who?
Oh, I thought you were talking. Okay. Yeah, I think RFK is probably the only person in that administration who makes some fucking sense. But
yeah, and that's saying something. Yeah, hey, Loon, what's up?
Still being gang stalked. I'm not gonna take over JC's stream, and I appreciate you giving me that time to talk at all. I didn't know that you were being that patient with me, but yeah, like what you had said about like how we can't trust our neighbors and shit. It's like society is already over. It's conquered. Like when they be like giving us these movies about, you know, being the good guy and defeating the bad guy, it's like I feel like they gave people that shit that way they could see who was gonna try to measure up and do that and neutralize them immediately, because they already have little things like these little cults, all these neighbors working together. Like I've been being targeted by random strangers 24/7, and I don't know who the fuck they are. They haven't personally spoken to me. My phone is bugged. Everywhere I go, they follow me. Like if I go into a random bathroom, they'll follow me in there and do like gang stalking tactics, or just start making random big ass noises for me. It's psychological it's psychological. Like they're trying to fuck up my nervous system by always coming around my vicinity, being hostile or doing something that, you know what I mean? Because if I try to point this out to anybody that's regular, a regular person, if I were to say the tactics that these grown adults are doing, you would think that they're insane. You would think that I'm insane because you're telling me that grown ass adults are following you around
No,
and they
that's
get
not.
close to your vicinity just to be like like it's over dramatic and really harsh. That way you know that they're in it, or they're following you around with one headlight, brightening it at you, constantly sitting outside your house in tinted windows. When you step out, you turn a corner, there's already a car there to honk at you. It's not, and these are regular things that you see in regular everyday life, but it's not a coincidence. It's consistent. Like, you know that there's something going on, but no one's told you shit. Like, and it's also law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. So I'm almost done, but yeah, I was just gonna say that society's conquered. There's a lot of people that are also on this panel or are watching this that are a part of cults pretending to be empathetic individuals. At
Yeah,
this point, I don't trust anybody because it could literally be anybody. I mean, there's
yeah,
people
no,
posting like you, JC, like saying real shit, and then they happen to be a part of cults. Like they're pretending to be like people like me or you if you're really you. And it's just to see who thinks like them to like report them or whatever. So
no,
this shit's bro.
that's pretty valid. Like, no, like, because if you ever seen the film Eyes Wide Shut, during the section of the film where like the guy was like walking home from work, right, from a party, like
Yeah, I remember.
the normal ones, right, he was being stalked by like men, like stalking him, like when he was walking down the street. Yeah, no, that happens in real life because that stuff, Eyes Wide Shut, is based off like real life events. It's based off real life, things that happen. Yeah, it's what
Imagine people's kids, like imagine baby mamas with 3 kids setting their kid up to follow you and stalk you and like do psychological operations on you, like children.
psychological
That deep.
operations are done at any level, either through like mind control or for even like the most like mundane things like films, music, what else? Shows, yeah, that's all propaganda. Lou said that everything is propaganda now. Like you cannot have like a like uncorrosive view of things now, especially in relations to like upholding like society and like a technology. You can't do that, or like trying to like expand human life to like other realms. Like we have like the
I would say that civilization, everything, all of the information that flows from the centralized structure of information or civilization has always been propaganda.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
They used
yeah.
to call it cult or religions back in the day to make it sound nicer. Because cult used to actually have a nicer meaning. It didn't used to mean like the modern connotation. Just used to mean that you followed a particular god or goddess or way.
Yeah, the Roman
But
cults.
then,
Yeah.
They got away from that.
Yeah, back then, the world cult only meant like you only had like a covenant with like a god or like a demigod. Like, there was the cult of like Dionysus, the cult of like Orpheus, the cult of like Apollo. Yeah, all of those cults. Like who else was there? Mithra. Yeah, during the Roman Empire. Yeah. So yeah, all of those cults have been around for like a long time. Well, the world cult has been around for a long time, and the idea has changed to like now mean like evil, like, or like blessed and good people, like within like higher the echelons of like society who want to like subvert the ordinary person.
I just feel it's just like what JC was saying. It's like I'm not okay with being owned. Like this is hilarious to me because it's like I don't know how to work this. It's like all these people obeying, doing what they're told to do, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Like I've been looping on this 24/7. Not just not stalking, but like what reality's about. And it's like it's funny because like I can't believe there's people that think that they can control my reality. It's like, bitch, worry about your own pathetic ass existence. Stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in mine. Like, I'm gonna live my fucking individual life and do what the fuck I want to do. Why can't you do the same? Why in this one random existence that we all got randomly spawned into, do you want to sit up here and play somebody else's life like it's a video game? It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like why do you want to control someone else's separate reality when you already have your own? Like what the
comes down
you can't find any meaning or purpose any other fucking way. Are you that fucking
Well, that's a good
pathetic?
question. It comes down to the ruling class. They've always been sedentary. They're incapable of doing the honest work that is required to actually live in the world. But they have skills that the average person doesn't. Like, I'm talking about the first elite. Like, when they first emerged, they knew advanced measurement, they knew psychology, they knew astrology. So they used these things to coordinate the people who actually did know how to work. They showed them a little bit how to do something, and then they just basically sat back and did nothing and ordered people around. And this is exactly how it's described in the myth. There's just this sedentary group of masters. They have all the know-how. They compartmentalize information and trickle it down to the people who actually need to do the work. And then they just reap the rewards, and nothing's changed in thousands of years. Literally nothing has changed.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a very unfair advantage, yeah.
It's embarrassing because people, I don't know if it's like I don't know how to word it. It's such a weird reality watching a slave put the chains back on themselves and then put it on the people next to them that are trying to free themselves and the slaves. Like, how that is some interesting psychology, bro. It's like, it's really sad. It's like imagine being the enslaver and confidently being cocky, being like, we don't even have to try to enslave them. Like, they'll enslave themselves and then enslave the people next to them. Like,
oh yeah, like that's why, like, you know, I kind of agree. Are humans like naturally slavish, or do we crave freedom? Because the way I at things now is that, like, I don't like. I'm sorry.
They don't even have to try. Like, you have the peasants doing it all on their own, and that's the most pathetic part, because it's like it doesn't even benefit you. Maybe reality is too bitter for you to see fully, so you lie to yourself and live as a fucking slave.
Yeah.
Human beings are absolutely not naturally slavish. The problem is that for thousands of years we've been living like slaves. So now we're in a feedback loop based off of legality and religion and mythology and money, and we don't know how to live without these things and go back to how our ancestors actually used to live when we were free. If humans were naturally slaves, there would be no depression. There would be no psychological crises of today. People wouldn't be getting sick or anything like that, because this would just naturally be the way, and it would be best for everyone. But because there's clearly negative effects caused by society, because we're in a state of slavery, it is not natural.
No, I mean, the term natural slave came from Aristotle. He was talking about a specific type of human being who does not know how to be free, that they always have to submit. They look for somebody to enslave them.
Yeah, that's what Aristotle said. But
yeah,
then,
he wanted that, though. Aristotle wanted that type of person and thought they were necessary.
well, I don't think he I'm not sure, because like whenever someone is always like, we tell people these things, and like most people just kind of tune it out. So like it does inevitably end on their end, right? So like I don't know, I'm kind of split on it, but like I think that maybe some humans have been like mutated through like the thousands of years as we've been enslaved by, like, you know, state and civilization, that they kind of like, I guess their souls or their brains or minds have been mutated to like the slavishness, and like they can't know any other way, you know.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I think that it's not going to happen all at once.
Of course not. Yeah.
It can't happen. But we human beings have the potential to not be slaves.
Wait, if they're not natural slaves, then why are they enslaved? Why do they constantly submit? Why do they resist their own liberation?
It's because civilization views people as hardware, machines to be programmed, and they give them the software in the forms of money, religion, laws, whatever. And then
And-
these people program the hardware, and then the people are just acting based off scripts that have nothing to do with their authentic thoughts or feelings.
Okay, but when you try to educate them or you try to like liberate them, they actively fight against you.
Yeah, they do. Or like they'll say that like, hey, you are the problem. You are like acting out of line. I'm not acting out of line. I'm being normal, quote unquote. Yeah. And like hardware, like were we made to be hardware, or like was that always in our capacity to just be like very, very like subversive and to become that, or like I don't know.
Well, we have to understand human nature from the occult perspective. And it's basically twofold. Number one is that human beings are like animals, but we are not animals. Because we have the ability to self-reflect on our actions
Yeah,
and
that's true.
understand that they harm other people. And also, we're not born with claws or fangs like a lion. Secondly, human beings are essentially programmable. This
Did
means
you say
our-
that? That's an. Did you just say that humans aren't animals? How are we not animals? We
I
are
said
animals.
we are like animals, but because we have the ability to reflect on our actions, we are naturally higher on the totem pole of responsibility for our actions. That does not make us
I don't
So we're
agree
still
with that.
animals. Yeah, we're
I
still
think
animals.
most human beings are just grazing cattle. They are exactly the same as animals. They do
Yeah.
they behave. They're easily controllable, just like animals.
I mean, I think that when it comes to like the whole 8 billion people in the world, I think like a good 95% of them are just ripe for like just being cattle or all their lives, right? And then like the other 5%, I don't know about them, but like, or maybe it's like more than that. Like, you know, like I like, you know, because 88 billion people are relatively okay with being slaves to like their like governments, their institutions, and in other parts of the world, they will die for those things, right? They will die to like protect, you know, like their institutions and civilizations, and other parts of the world. Still here too, you know. And we see like Americans say that I'll die for like, you know, the government that hates me so much that wants to replace me with AI and other things like that, but they still want to like die for it. They still want to reform it. So, you know, like I don't really know, but like I get what you mean, that we're like animals, but we have like bigger responsibilities. Like I can see that point of view. I can see it because like yeah, like,
well,
Okay, I'll do a
are-
separate. I'll do a separate live stream to explain what Aristotle meant by natural slave, because I
I
don't know
know-
if everybody's read that.
I know
I've
Plato
heard of it.
thought that society needed slaves.
Oh yeah,
So-
Plato, it was Plato and Aristotle, but Aristotle actually gave like arguments as to why this is like the way things are. He gave like a descriptive argumentation for the favor, like, hey, there are some people around the world that are just inherently slavish people, and like it's okay if we enslave them. Now, like, you know, it's because Aristotle himself, and so was Plato, their families were slave owners. They were from aristocratic Greek families of the time, you know, of Athens. So of course they would think like that. But after like looking around the world and in my own experiences, you know, comparing and contrast with like anarchist theory and like general like practice in real life, I'm like, yeah, the majority of people kind of like it. They do like it. I'm not sure if
I don't
that's
think they like it. I think they've been conditioned to like it, like a horse in its enclosure, like the stables and shit. Like it's a natural, free, wild animal. It's not domesticated until humans do all that shit to it to domesticate it. Humans have been severely domesticated in so many ways, starting with school, religion, I mean, the media, they don't think for themselves. The parents help in this as well. Like they
I
also
mean,
domesticate their
if I
children to
can,
obey
if I can,
authority.
yeah, if I can like address Dom, you do believe at one point we were free, right? Like way back then, and like you do think that like that type of like intentionality is still with us, correct? You know, like
Don't I say that all the time?
of course, yeah, oh yeah, I know, yeah, like so, like no, so whenever you said that, I was like, so yeah, he believes that like we were at one point free. It's just that we've been heavily, I guess, conditioned, brainwashed, or occupied by people who've gained power, and we've been programmed because we're pretty programmable. I would assume that like our like nature is like malleable, correct? I
Yeah,
would assume so, yeah.
plastic. Our brains are plastic, as they say, right?
Okay.
So our experiences shape our thoughts, and they shape our emotions. They basically program our subconscious, and this is where people's thoughts come from. This is why most people think and they can't turn off their thoughts, and they don't even, or they're aware that these thoughts aren't theirs, like intrusive thoughts. It's because they aren't aware of how their experiences in their lives are shaping their subconscious and thus programming their thoughts. And civilization takes full advantage of this.
Yes, it does. There's a lot of
Yeah,
wage slaves
it does.
happy to
Yeah,
go to
it does
work.
take full advantage of it. But like, I think that like, in my own like ways of viewing it, I think that once you've been openly exposed to these things, your brain has been kind of like structured already. I think that the majority of people's brains and even like minds or souls have already been like, I guess, corrupted and thus mutated in a way that allows them to like be so submissive to like their either their culture, their like institutions, their governments, so like I don't know how there can be like a mass undoing of that process, other than like trying to educate them. But as like JC said, if we try to educate them, they will get mad at us because they think we're out of line. They think that we're like a problem. They think that we're shaming them for like doing something that's quote unquote normal. They think it's normal to like be submissive and be a slave to like civilization and technocratic society. So like I don't know how we can address that in any way that's
We
gonna be.
can't. We can't. It's like being on the Titanic and the ship is sinking. It's been sinking for a long ass time. All you can do is save the. Oh, please don't.
I do
Don't
think
lie to
there
me.
could be people that like could be. Ooh, could you like
You guys are
go
beautiful.
on?
I don't want to. My hands. You guys are gorgeous. I like the natural. Don't ever fucking change. Let me pause this or put this on mute.
They have please. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, but that's what I think. Said like. I do think that there was a time in human history where we were free, but that was way back then, and I think that the human populace has been cucked beyond belief, for lack of a better word, to like be this way. And I don't know how we can address the undoing of that process of just being
Well,
cucks.
you say that a lot of people's minds and souls are shaped, and this is true, and this is because basically over the course of the first 8 years of someone's life. Oh, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, but like I guess like is man like born with like an inherent lack, or he was made to have that inherent lack by other people around them? That's kind of like it's either the chicken or the egg scenario. Like which one came first? Like was man like I think you said that we were plastic minds, so like you think no.
Oh, okay, I'm back. I had
Okay.
someone came in.
Okay, it's cool.
What were you asking?
Oh, like I was just like giving my own like my own thoughts of like which one came first, like but you already said that our minds are plastic, so like we're not inherently slavish. We've just have been greatly altered and corrupted in our ontology to be this way, right?
Yes, and I was saying about the first 8 years of someone's life is known as a hypnagogic trance, which is basically you as a child have no filter on the information that's coming into your mind. So this means everything everyone tells you is basically the gospel truth, and you have no way of discerning it. But once you get past 7 or 8, then you come to shape yourself based off of your experiences and begin to develop discernment. So if someone was exposed, or if a large group of people were exposed to proper education based in natural law and liberal arts and learning who they actually are, not people telling them who they need to be, then you're going to have strong-minded people in the future. But because that's not what anyone gets, we have slaves who are told what they need to be.
Told what they
You
need to
said
be.
that we naturally are submissive because of, like how a horse, I mean, they're not submissive until they're broken. Because like I'm trying to say, like I've gone through the same conditioning too. Like in my family's a bunch of narcissists, and my brother turned out to be exactly like them, and I turned out to be the complete opposite. So it's like, how is that possible? Maybe what makes you a part of this minority that has empathy and have self-worth, and you're independent, like you want to live life your way and not be having to obey some authority figure. Do you think it could be like little things that we never noticed? Like maybe it was a book we read, maybe it was a certain thing that we heard that really clicked with us, that made us get off course of the tracks that they be trying to put everybody on to becoming a slave. Because I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I did it. I'm not even trying to think the way that I do. It's just being rational. You're just being rational. It's like, this is your life. You didn't consent to it. You are a slave because you can't leave. And you're doing a bunch of shit in a society that doesn't even benefit you, but benefits a smaller minority. It's like, it's consistent flow when you go through, when you talk about shit like that. So it's like, I don't know how other humans, we're talking about billions. We're talking about billions of humans, bro, whose brains are just like in this submissive ass, obedient ass mindset. It's like, I don't know. We all go through trauma. We all go through fuck ups. I went through trauma, but I came out the other end a different way. I don't know why that's such a small ass minority. Like, why is that? What am I doing? What are we doing that's so different? Is it just thinking? Like niggas don't want to think? It's like, I'm not even trying to think. I'm just doing it. Like it's just what I do. It's who I am. Like it's what I do. So it's like, because we got too many people that are docile and are in la la land. And if you do try to wake them up and tell them anything, they don't want to hear it. They'll say shit that's irrational. That sounds like they're a toddler in an adult body. Like, oh, you're being negative. It's like, that doesn't cancel out the fact that it's a fact though. Like you're putting feelings over facts. Like you're hearing what I'm saying, but you ain't listening. It's like I said something and you have an emotional reaction to what I'm saying versus like looking through what the fuck I'm saying, being thorough and seeing like, is this factual? Is this rational? Is this reasonable? Like,
well, like, yeah, because like it's true, like, with the title of the video, like the public doesn't support self-ownership. Even to the people who claim that they do support self-ownership, they're like, wait, you want to like live outside of like this world that has been created for us? Are you crazy? Like, are you like, I'm like, no. And like, you're against like a democracy? Are you like a authoritarian and fascist? And like, not really. I just think it's a sham because you people support the oppression of like, the technocratic society and civilization. So who knows, really?
They don't think this shit's slavery. I told someone yesterday. Well, I cut him off because he happened to be a part of the system that's targeting me. But I said, well, it makes sense that he would say that. Then it's just like, I said, this is slavery. This is just another version of it. And people will cancel you out and say that's disrespectful to actual slaves that did the Chateau, we're getting whipped. It's like, okay, you keep doing that. Like, nigga, this is still slavery, just with extra steps, minus some consequences of being whipped.
Like the higher echelons of the world still see us as like cattle. They do, like we're just, there to be like counted, every like birth certificate is like a fucking like a count on us,
Weren't slaves treated? Never mind. Forget it. No, I was say, weren't they treated better? They weren't treated better. They were at least given shelter and some food or something. But now we have to go slave away and work to provide that shit for us, and we still are barely getting by. It's like, so now we're working hard to have what we want, but we don't even have what we want. Bro, it don't make sense, bro. It's worse now. It's worse with technology. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. It doesn't make sense. Niggas are living in their car, niggas are becoming homeless, and they're criminalizing it, saying you can't quit your job. Like, I mean, it's just like, and then people like this are hard to find in real life.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous part is that cops get paid to do it, and then they'll be all like, well, I gotta feed my family.
It's just the system needs to fall apart. The whole system needs to fall apart. I try to tell people this. I'm like, we need to just leave. There's no revolution. There's only evolution, which is just abandon the system. Like, I wish I could see people leaving. I wish I could see people leaving cities in droves. Like, and I know it costs money, but that's the point. It's like, okay, they rigged it like that to where you can't even leave. So you need to like connect with your neighbors. But that's why they need to understand it's gang stalking shit. You can't even trust your fucking neighbors because they be working for the state too, even if they are peasants. So it's like, people need to leave society. Like, they need to leave because the air's poisoned, the water's poisoned, the food's poisoned, our minds are poisoned from the media and everything else. And so it's like, we didn't even have to be born in the states or cities that we were born into. And it's all about exploitation on a mass global scale. So we really do need to leave. And now they're getting all this surveillance to catch people that want to do shit like that, to see where we're going, what we're doing.
That's like the worst part. Yeah, they have like the fucking surveillance state. It's like the most oppressive system ever. It's like what we have now, with all the cameras. Like, I swear, if you go to like London, UK, they have cameras everywhere. It's so fucked, like if you go to the airport, you have to do like a face exam, like a face scanner. Like, it's so bad there. Like, the UK is like a shithole. Like, I understand why so many like grumpy humans come from there.
I mean, our phones read our minds. There's no privacy at all. Our phones read your thoughts aren't fucking private. You can think of something and it'll pop up on your screen. You didn't even have to say a damn thing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, it's very bad. It's like, how the fuck? And then it's like, there's things that we just don't even know. They might be working with aliens. We don't fucking know. I don't think humans made technology. So that makes it even worse because they have knowledge that they hide it from the masses. It's like, how the fuck did y'all create some shit like that can read our minds? Who's making that shit? And it's like, y'all are doing that shit secretly, having niggas signed NDAs. You can't talk to the public about what you're doing. So you really do just see us as little bitches, like little cattle that can just be controlled.
What's it?
I think aliens are a psyop. That's what they are. They want you to think aliens are these men in like craft that fly around space or whatever.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
It would be so far off though. It's not that far off. Like, if we are in some universe or whatever the hell's above us, if we're in a dome, whatever.
If you want to accept that there's aliens flying around in craft, there's a whole lot of other stuff you got to accept first. Like, you got to accept that their cosmology isn't full of crap, first of all.
Yeah.
Which I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, like, I think that aliens are like not what we think, like pop culture, or like what even like UFOologists claims they are right now.
Well, not typical UFO shit, not the big eyed niggas. Like, maybe they look different. Maybe there is something from a different planet. You think humans You think humans' hairless ass created this shit, dude?
No, I didn't say that, but I think the aliens are much more like spiritual beings than like physical things. You know, like
Oh, I
what
don't
if
believe
they're
in spirits. I don't know. I don't know about the demon. I don't know about that
yeah,
personally.
the aliens are demons. Yeah, that trope. Yeah, I've heard that before. Aliens are demons. I'm sure, Dom, you've heard of that before, right? That aliens are actually like astral
Yeah.
beings. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard all that. But
Yeah,
as far as I
Wait,
can
so y'all
tell,
believe in
the
like spiritual
aliens
shit that I can't see
are
versus like aliens that are from a different planet or whatever?
what?
You believe in like spirits, like shit that we can't see. What is a spirit? What even is that? Like what I never what is that? An orb? Invisible entity?
Well,
Like is it a
I
fucking what
didn't
is that?
say. I never said that I believed that. I said that I've heard that.
yeah.
No,
What I
not
said.
you, the other guy.
Oh,
Oh,
me?
well, I don't.
Oh, no.
Um,
I also don't. I also don't believe in that. But I've heard of that other proposal of what aliens could be. Either they're not like physical beings in spacecrafts; they could be like astral, like beings. That's all I said. Yeah, I'm not saying I
What is
believe in that.
that?
if you want to know what a typical Christian thinks, Loon, they're going to call them the fallen angels and the Nephilim hybrid. Those are the
Yeah,
aliens to Christians.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, the Book of Enoch. Yeah, that's what they say. They said like the Book of Enoch as like like as like a foretelling of like look at these giant skeletons found all throughout the world. These are like aliens or fallen angels. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think any of the evidence that's been revealed is I don't know. I do feel like there's some I don't know. I feel like there's something, but information that people are finding, like you just said, big skeletons. I don't think that's like a hoax. UFOs like a hoax. I feel like it'd be something else that they'd have. Who knows? We don't know. Everything's hidden. That's the point.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
one
don't know
thing
anything.
yeah.
Well, look, so you were asking about where this technology comes from. I don't think it's aliens. I used to think it was aliens when I first heard of who the Anunnaki are, but now I think I have a very firm grasp on exactly who they were. I think they were just a group of people who came together and they had all these different ideas and ways of living. And when you bring many complex ideas together, they're going to basically merge into a collective thought form pretty quickly. And wherever they lived was completely isolated from everywhere else around them, which is why it's always described in the earliest times as a paradise. Paradise just literally means a walled enclosure. They lived in this walled enclosure, detached from everyone. And then they learned all the disciplines I talked about earlier and used it to basically control people.
Okay. Yeah.
I got
know
okay.
if
My
Joe,
thing is like, how the fuck? If everything's made up, language is made up, numbers are made up, everything that humans made up is made up. It's like, how the fuck? Yeah, so what code did they crack in the universe that doesn't have any words? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how could you create something? How'd you figure it out? The code is what I'm trying to say. It's like you had to like,
The stars,
because every like how do you start? You got what I'm
astrology. Well, it's the stars that are the code.
The stars.
Yes, it's all based in astrology. Astrology and astronomy allows for precise measurement of Earth moves, so they can measure people with
somebody has a lot of noise and static in the background.
I think it's low. There you go. Okay. Yeah, but like on back to like just the general like topic. It's pretty interesting that we do bring up like like other things that kind of like inform this idea of like us being like enslaved, such as technologies and like ancient occults. It's pretty good. But like you know, like how people expect me to like break bread with my enemies, even though my enemies support my oppression. Like, how can I do that? You know, how can I support enemies, break bread with them, love them if they support me? Like, not getting things my way. They are denying my personhood, my dreams, my life, my ambitions, you know? And I'm supposed to be just okay with like saying, singing Kumbaya to them. Like, they support, like, the democratic process to like erase people like me in the long run. So, like, yeah, like, no, I'm not gonna just engage or break bread with them, you know?
Right. And another thing I meant to say when I was talking earlier is about how they see the law. They For them, the law is not violence because it's just the law. It's something that's sacred. But that's not how the system sees it. Like, judges don't see the law as something sacred. The way the judges see it is, this is my courtroom. Like, they know that they are the person that is carrying out the hit. They know that it's their order that is enabling the violence. The legislature, when they enact the law, they know that they are doing it. The government departments will say, this is my department, and they do take agency of it. Yet when the public sees it, they're just like, oh no, it's just a law, it's just the government. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're actually submitting to a person who is ordering you around like a fucking slave. That judge
No.
knows that it's not the court. You're actually submitting to the judge.
This is the lure of civilization. If you get into these positions of power, then you get to command over other people. It doesn't matter if you're a judge or whatever. You could just be like a manager at McDonald's. You know, some people, they like to tell people what to do. And it seems like those people get in power.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Which kind of goes with like, you know, the trust for like the public. Some people, if they don't like to be slaves, they love to oppress others and tell people what to do with it. If they gain power, they would abuse it, and they would probably abuse us. So it goes both ways too. Some people like to be slaves, but others like to be oppressors too. They enjoy it. They enjoy to like deny us things. They enjoy to like, you know, torment us. You know.
Right. They get sadistic pleasure out of it. And that's the reason why this system doesn't benefit me, because I don't enjoy enslaving and controlling other people. Yes, I could be a part of the system in theory, but I don't like I would not get anything out of that. So that's all the system has to offer, is that I can be a slave, but I can also enslave other people, and I can become wealthy or something at other people's expense. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
I'm just not attracted enough to it to chase after money and to chase after power. And so for
No,
somebody like me who actually cares about liberation, the system has nothing to offer me.
of course, yeah, because it's either or. Either you're a master, which is bad, and or you're a slave, which is another you know, a form of bad. So yeah, like you don't win inside the technocratic system, because to be a master, you're hated, and to be a slave, you're also hated, because like if you're a master, you tell people what to do, you abuse them, you beat them, you coerce them. Thus, people hate you. If you're a slave, the masters hate you. Other slaves hate you for whatever reason, because like if you try to budge or challenge, they call you crazy. You need mental help. Oh, it's okay. You should break bread with the masters, and you should break bread with me. Even though like if they would be masters, they would probably abuse me too, or like they would leave me in the wind. You know. So yeah, it's just not fair. It's just not a fair world we live in. Which is why some people who tell me to like, you know, just like make peace with people who, you know, are contrary to me, I'm like, that is beyond like retarded. Like that there is no benefit for me in the long run in that. And I would also recommend people look up this political philosopher of law and politics. His name is Carl Schmitt. Came up with a friend enemy, a distinction. There is no neutrality within like political power and relationships. You're either a friend or an enemy. Like there is no neutral, liberal ground of ideas, or like super place of ideas that we can like converse and have like a democratic process. And no, that doesn't happen in like the institutions or in the real world. It only happens in very small local areas, such as here, you know. But here it's very like, you know, decentralized and, you know, in its own corner.
I just love how they talk about how anarchy is so violent when democracy is the most violent system ever devised. There's
Yeah.
just so much violence everywhere, but nobody ever sees it because they
Yeah.
think that their violence is legitimate and other people's violence is illegitimate. And then they want to call other people terrorists while they're inflicting wanton violence on the entire world.
Yeah, through state power into the army.
Slavery and all kinds of subjugation has existed under their fucking democracy. Yeah, I don't think that there's any system that is more violent and more brutal than democracy. It's more violent. I would say they're even more violent than the Taliban, fucking Saddam Hussein versus
Yeah.
more like they're so fucking hypocritical.
Yeah, they
And
are.
unlike those countries, democracy actively puts its own people against each other, dividing them into political parties.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like dividing them. Oh, of course. Yeah, like I'm against democracy 100%. And I think that there's a lot of good critiques from democracy from all sides. There's like the fascist, Marxist, and then there's the anarchist critique. But I think the anarchist critique is the most coherent. Yeah, because it doesn't try to propose a alternative authority, unlike, you know, Marxism, socialism, communism does, or fascism does, or like even liberalism does, right? You know, so like, you know, and like my form of anarchism is, you know, unique. It's more of like a set of principles and mindset. You know, I think I should write like a manifesto about it and probably read it in like a format. I don't know.
Exactly. It needs to come down to people developing their own principles, which I know is scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't trust themselves. Develop their own principles based in objective truth. Something beyond themselves, something higher than themselves, which is just basically, you know, in like religions like Buddhism and Christianity referred to as karma or natural law. And it's so easy. It's so easy. All we need to do is just recognize violence is wrong. Do not be complacent with violence like statists are, you know, just because they're sitting at home paying taxes happily to support a war machine does not absolve them. And develop principles based in being responsible for yourself and respecting how other people are responsible for their own actions. That's literally all it takes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it does, but it sounds harder than it actually. It sounds easy, but it's actually harder to like implement in reality, and that's like one of the biggest like, you know, ironies of like theory. You know, is that like inside the conceptual mind and framework, it's very noble and easy, but we're trying to apply it with the contradictions of reality and man, it does end up as a form of dialectics, right? Oh, I hear an echo. Okay. So yeah, it's
Wait, do you still hear it echo? I just unmuted.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, do you still hear it?
No, you're the one echoing.
Who, me?
I know,
or-
I'm trying to fix it.
Okay.
Do you still hear it?
No.
No, it's not you, Lynn. It's Fatima.
Really, it's me.
Thought it was me. So I just unmuted.
Everyone knows except Fatima. And Fatima talk. Oh.
Yeah, it's Loon. It's not me.
Is it still me? So it's still doing it?
Hi.
I thought it stopped.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh.
I don't. It might be all of us. I don't know. Something just happened.
I don't fucking know. I am muted and
I was
then
on mute, so it's definitely not me.
Speak again.
blah 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 blah.
Do it now.
I'm talking.
Okay, so it's not me. I think it's still like you.
It's still doing it?
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
No, Fatima, it didn't do it for her. I can't tell who it is, to be honest.
It's Fatima.
All right, then I will just I'll leave and come back. Then I'll go on my phone. I think that's easier.
What about now?
No, Loon, you have been echoing.
That's weird. I just unmuted and then just randomly started echoing.
Am I echoing?
Now you're an echo.
All right. Well, anyway.
The world's never going to change because people have to do the internal work. Like they have to see that there's a problem and question something, and
All right,
they don't do that. So it's never going to change. You know, it's really sad because when you look at history, you see so many people that are activists that try to stand up and talk about, like, I was watching Malcolm X's speech and shit, you know, when slavery was going on around that time. All these speeches, all these artists making songs about, what's the word I'm looking for?
Revolution?
About
change?
Yeah, never happened. Never happened. Never thoroughly happened. We're still in the same stuff in the future. So it's just not meant to change. Can you imagine these people? Like, what if I could bring them back from the past? They're dead, and I could bring them to the future now. Wouldn't they be so disappointed to be like, oh my God, humanity still is going?
Yeah, like there's no more like, you know, Che Guevara's. There's no more like Malcolm X, Huey P. Newtons anymore. You know, there's no more of those guys. And like then, like, you know, the revolution did fail because like the bad guys kind of won in the end. You know,
I would say revolutions can only fail. All revolution is just the turning of the wheel. And who sits on the wheel? Yahweh.
yeah.
It's Yahweh's basically system.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Ancient elite who built it. So all we're doing is we're turning their system over to a new dial. And then you look at what that dial was in the 1800s. It was insane. Like in France, they like 1 million French people, or over 1 million French people died in the Napoleonic Wars.
Yeah, French Revolution, yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah, it was like 1% of their population or more.
Oh yeah, like the French Revolution, like destroyed Europe for the most part for the time. You know, it destroyed Germany, destroyed Prussia, Austria. Can someone please like be on mic? I can hear a toilet flush.
It's me.
Okay, it's okay.
My bad. Good.
Yeah, no, like you know, like the revolution is already televised. It was televised because we all saw it happen, or the people before us saw like their own revolutions happen.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, look at what the French Revolution brought the French people.
Oh, I know it. It's bad.
A huge war that just was not in their benefit. It was in the aristocrats' benefit.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. It was in like the benefits of, like, you know, the elites. Well, first the old elites were killed, and then they were replaced by the elites of the revolution. You know, like, yeah, it seems to be the case for that. You know. Yeah, the French Revolution failed. The Napoleonic Wars, you know, Napoleon's project failed. You know, it's kind of what happens.
I think he was a Jesuit agent personally.
Oh, you think so too? I think he was a Mason. Honestly, I think he was like a covert Mason. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure he had assistants on battles, like people coordinating for him, telling him what to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like you know, I believe during that war, the war that funded the Napoleonic Wars were like the Rothschilds. You know, they made a
Capitalism
lot
is
of
the answer.
they made a lot of money. What?
Sorry, to interrupt. Sorry.
So
I'm gonna let you
it's okay.
finish. I bet.
No, no, I'm saying that like the Napoleonic Wars were like primarily funded by like the Rothschilds family to like make money, because like a war does make some money. You have to, you know, pay like the reparations and stuff like that, right? After the damages, aids, reconstruction, you know. So yeah, that's why, you know, the Napoleonic Wars were a big business for like a lot of like, you know, of the elites that either stayed during the French Revolution or after the French Revolution, you know.
Capitalism is the answer. But
Mm.
I don't have a big red button. The rich people do, or whoever has the nuke code. So we just shouldn't be here. None of us should be here. It's a predatory planet. It's about survival of the fittest. It's not. It's not a good world for innocence. You know, you want to create an evil world, create the weird ass predators to attack and kill each other, but don't throw prey like lambs and bunnies and babies into the mix, because what the fuck is that? You know, they can't fight back. And also, it's like this is never going to end. There's always going to be, because it's nature creating evil niggers. We call them evil, creating these ignorant motherfuckers that don't do any self-reflection or take any accountability. They're always going to come about. So to be born is to be born out of ignorance, because your parents had to be fucking idiots to create you in the first fucking place. Nothing of emotional intelligence will put you in a place like this with a huge ass long list of negatives that nobody wants to look through because the list is so fucking long. No one will put you here. So that's why I'm like, Ephilism really is the answer, because the planet should just go bye-bye. It's always going to happen. You can't, like, if we talk about people living in peace and some shit, someone mentioned it to me before, and it's true that, like, there's always going to be those weirdos that group together and want to loot and kill and dominate. It's always going to, you can't. And also, if you're emotionally intelligent, you're not going to reproduce, so you're going to, you wouldn't reproduce.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's very easy to band against those people if the people are brave and
it's just an
willing.
ongoing fight. Like, what are we living for? Like, what is humanity's purpose?
I don't know about that. I have my own philosophy. It's not the same as antinatalism. I'm not an ethicist. I mean, I get why it has an appeal to people. It has been critiqued by a lot of people, even the extinctionists. I don't want to start like bashing it, because I know once I do, then people will leave my channel. I'll just say I have my own philosophy, and so I think my philosophy is more correct than other people's philosophy. I know everybody thinks that, but it's just like, how are you actually going to accomplish it? I guess
It's not
that's my
possible.
question.
It could be the truth, but it's not possible to come.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
have the
I
button. I don't
don't-
have the weapons.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not
I
the
don't
rich.
think it's possible to, like, you know, wipe out all life on Earth.
I can't sterilize everybody. That doesn't mean it's false just because I don't have the tools to do it. There are people that have the tools to do it, but they don't have the emotional maturity or the intelligence that'll carry it out. They won't do it.
Gosh, I feel like because you're bringing it up, and if I do respond, then all of them.
Say it. Just say it. We're here to be honest.
I don't know if I should. Maybe I should just keep it to myself.
No, because if
wanna
he
know.
says something, then someone is going to screen record this, and it's going to be used against him. He's going to be taken out of like context. It could be, you know, could be used against him. You know, like, oh, he said this. You know.
There is a fallacy by saying that because humans have intellect, that we have a duty to do this or do that. Again, that still goes back into the fact that your property is a collective resource, that your intellect is a collective resource that has to benefit someone other than yourself. I don't believe that just because I have a superior intellect that I have a duty to other
Save
people
others?
or other animals. I don't believe that. I don't
I
have a
was
duty
just
to
saying.
anybody but myself.
Yeah,
I
I can
understand
see
you. I
that.
just care about all creatures. It's not. I understand what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. It's just, this comes down to the veganism thing again. You know, I understand what you're trying to say. It's just I see them and they can't stop. Humans are just as dumb as the cows and pigs and They can't
No,
stop. It's
no,
just
but this is all is fallacy, but because humans have superior intellect, that we have a duty to liberate the entire planet. And I don't believe that.
Yeah, I can
I
see.
don't believe that, and I also don't believe in prioritizing other life forms above myself. I'm not a sacrificial animal.
Yeah, that's pretty like that's one thing I was very impressed that you like cracked the code on LA, that like you shouldn't prioritize any other like person or like cause over your own, you know, because like you're being just a sacrificial animal. You're kind of wasting energy on that instead of focusing on what you want, you know,
Because
like
if you listen to those pro-extinctionists, what they'll say is that we need more humans to procreate so that we can liberate animals.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
they
just going,
say
wait
that,
a
and
minute.
that
How
does
are
make
you
sense.
prioritizing animals? So humans are going to be sacrificed to liberate animals. Why wouldn't you just say nobody procreate at all? Like, no, because I'm sorry. I don't agree with that shit.
No, I don't either.
Um,
No, I completely understand you. Like, we shouldn't breed more humans in order to bring about the extinction of Earth. Like, that makes zero sense. Like, what if the humans that we
well,
birth, like don't want that? They will betray like that goal, right? It doesn't make sense.
yeah, that was the only reason why I said that. I agree with the anti-nasalism thing. We shouldn't be here, or we didn't consent to being here. The least that they could do is decriminalize people getting help to leave, and euthanasia. I don't trust the
Yeah,
government,
no,
so who knows what the
okay,
fuck.
okay, but the problem is that they actually support civilization. He's
Who?
actively he's actually said that, and
Who?
civilization to me. Okay, you want me to come out and say it so they can all come and attack me?
No, I just don't know who you're talking about. You said that you talking about the E
I'm
word, the E
talking
guy.
about Amendum. I'm talking about Amendum. Now they're all going to fucking attack me because I fucking said his name.
You didn't have to say. You could have said the dude that said. You could have said the dude that's like "fuck you." Then I would have known.
I
they
don't.
won't
You know what? Maybe we should get off this topic because I don't want to.
get
Yeah,
drama. Yeah,
maybe
no,
we
no,
should.
no. It makes
Okay,
sense.
okay,
No, no,
okay,
no.
okay, okay.
His
Fine.
people are very, very devout. Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
will say
I
that
hate
much.
that like people group everybody under the same category. Like I'm an anti-natalist, but then there's different anti-natalists, and to me, it's like, why are there always humans that splinter shit? Like the vegans that happen to be anti-natalist, but then it's like I don't get it. They'll be vegans, but then they'll have kids to be vegans, and it's like this is what I'm talking about. It's like nothing. Humans just always splinter shit. Why can't they just follow thoroughly through? Like with the E word, I'm just like,
I
or the
just
A
don't
word.
understand. I just don't understand how you can actively support civilization, which is enslaving us, which is preventing us from having the right to medical assistance and dying. You support democracy. The shit is so fucking incoherent and disjointed. It
Yeah,
makes
I
I
agree.
just
yeah. I'm in
I agree.
agreement.
and then you support civilization, and yet you're against factory farming, which factory farming is a byproduct of civilization. It makes no fucking
It
sense.
is. That's why to me like veganism is also kind of like because like they speak out against like factory farming, but they will never attack the root cause of it, which is guess what? Modern day civilization, industrial revolution. They will never attack that. They like the conveniences of the state and of the technology age. So yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Guess what? This is why things will never change and get better because we're just all so divided. We all have our own different subjective opinions about life. It's like how could all of humanity or a good majority of them ever come together when we're so
Yeah.
splintered like that?
Exactly.
It's
Like
never
even
gonna
even when it
fucking
comes
happen,
to
man.
to the AN space, like ANs don't agree with each other. Like I don't agree who have like the pro extinction people. I think they're kind of foolish too for thinking that we have to breed more in order to bring about the end of like all life on Earth. When I'm like, I don't even think that like animals should be included in that like thing anyway.
Like I said, guys, in order to bring the divided people together, they have to accept the thing they fear the most, which is the fact that there is a higher power than man and an objective truth and standard that pretty much governs the way beings live in reality. As long as we reject this, we're going to continue to say, we are the arbiters of truth. We know what is best of how to live in the world, and we're going to force everyone to conform to our standard who doesn't agree.
Force.
Even though the rich already do that shit. Even though
Force.
Christians and all those other motherfuckers already do that shit.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying if we want to stop this, this is what needs to happen, and that's what needs to stop.
Now, if only they were like doing it now, though.
It's never gonna. We're so fucking late. I'm done. I don't even know what to say, bro. It's like we keep living life on a loop. It's so freaky to me. It's like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna be here tomorrow saying the same shit, and humanity's gonna be defending the same shit tomorrow. Like, even though we're literally getting killed and depopulated off the fucking planet.
And next year, and then the next year, and then like the next year, and then like the next generation, and then the next generation, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay with like their enslavement, unless like, I don't know, maybe God himself has to come again and like have like another like, you know,
Noah's Ark this bitch, but don't put nobody on the boat.
I don't think he is anti-Semitic. I think he's Islamophobic. He makes more Islamophobic statements that I don't want to make this a whole live.
No, don't. No, it's not. No, because like, no, I've actually know his statements, and like he's just edgy. That's all he is. He's just edgy. Like, I don't really take what he says seriously anyway. He's just edgy person. That's all he is.
He doesn't want to talk to nobody either.
Who, him? Oh yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get that. Like, nigga got all these comment sections, 14,000 subscribers, and you don't answer nobody, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
Because he hates people, so of course he's not gonna want to talk to anyone, even his fans, you know. But like, I don't get it though. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god, man.
Well, oh gosh, y'all are gonna make me say shit that's just gonna alienate so many
don't
people.
Don't say it.
I don't even know if we should be on this topic right now, because I could say a whole bunch of shit right now.
Well, I'm all for like freedom of speech and like,
okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna fucking say it. What I don't respect is that there has been all these allegations about him being a pedophile and shit, and his main accuser has been stalking him for years. He had a fucking opportunity to take his channel down, and he chose to do nothing. Instead, he decided to make a video attacking anti-nihilists. That anti-nihilists are stupid because we care only about humans and not animals. Yet you had no smoke for the person who has been calling you a fucking pedophile. And so, and I fucking defended him, and then he fucking attacked me. So at the end of the day, if you're not going to stand up for yourself, then you fucking deserve it. Then maybe fucking Steve should fucking make more content, and I should stop defending you. I should just let the shit fucking ride. Because, unfortunately, I mean, there's not many people who can fucking defend him, right? There's not many people who can actually go toe-to-toe with Steve. Y'all can say whatever you want. I mean, Steve, I don't like Steve. I think he's arrogant. He's a narcissist. But how many people actually have the intellect to actually go toe-to-toe with Steve? Not many people. Not many people can actually, negate his arguments. And yet I was one of those people to do it, and you fucking attack me? So fucking let Steve do it. Let Steve call you a fucking pedophile and let people tarnish your fucking name because you won't even defend your fucking self. So I don't respect people like that. And do you want to say that anti-nihilists are stupid and say that because he said that I said that animals can't benefit from civilization. No, I think humans don't benefit from civilization, and animals also don't benefit from civilization. Civilization is the root cause of factory farming. I don't understand. The shit that he says is so fucking illogical. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the fucking appeal. I really don't. I don't understand whatever magic he has that make people it's like they're in this trance where they just think that everything he says is so fucking brilliant. I don't fucking see it. And I know I'm going to get attacked. I'm going to get critiques because y'all, I had to fucking say it because it's Lucy. Oh yeah, she's still here. I don't even know why. I would rather not bring it up. I don't. This is not an ethics channel. This is not a vegan channel. If y'all fucking bring it up then I'm going to respond. If you bring up veganism or atheism, then it is what it is. I don't think the shit makes any fucking sense. I am anthropocentric. I put humans first. I think all animals should put their own species first. I'm not a sacrificial animal. I'm not going to put animals above humans. I'm just not going to do that. So okay. I don't know if we need to move on or if anybody else has anything else to say.
Oh, what would you like to talk about next?
I'm going to say civilization treats people like sacrificial animals, and they harvest the people's energy, whether it's physical energy in the form of labor. It really loves that, but also psychic energy. And people might not think about this, but if you want a really clear example of what psychic energy looks like on full display, look no further than people cheering on their favorite sports team, especially when they lose. Then you'll see psychic energy on display. Civilization harvests this as well through things like sports to keep the people distracted and not even realizing that they are a sacrificial animal. But I'm going to get off. It's cool talking. And laters.
Laters for nows.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We don't talk about that on this channel just because it always goes left. And yeah, we don't talk about atheism. We don't talk about veganism because people get very triggered. And okay, well, anyway, I do appreciate everybody coming up here, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream.
Okay. Well, thank you, JC. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.